Hello and good morning. Welcome to Soul TV, The Dialogue. We stream live on all media platforms, and it is the big show when we look back at the big events of the week. My name is Prince Apollo. We've had a wonderful week, a busy week, and being in the middle of a political season, we'll be looking at the politics, specifically the race for presidency. We've witnessed a rush for nominations, especially targeting the top office in the country. And also, we'll be interrogating the motivation behind that rush. More than 150 aspirants vying and throwing in their bid to be president of Uganda. And also will be asking what that means to the political terrain in this country. My name is Prince Apollo, joined by Dr. Gerard Werihe Wanzara. And Wanzara is a public policy researcher, but he is also an associate lecturer at Uganda Management Institute. We miss out on the views of Richard Baguma Tinkasimire, who is out on duty. But we have special guests whom I will introduce as the program progresses. Well, other issues will feature in this program. We will also have to look at the jostling within the ruling party NRM in the race for SEC positions, the intrigue, the infightings, and the power of money. Those are the issues we'll be considering. And quickly, let me introduce to you Dr. Gerard Werihe Wanzara, and it's always a pleasure, Wanzara, to have you on the dialogue. Speak to our viewers.
Yeah, good morning, our viewers. It's a pleasure being here again. I hope you had a nice week. Looking forward to engagement. Of course, I also greet my colleague, my host, evergreen and smart.
Sure.
Good to see you, and I'm happy to see my brother from the NRM. I'm encouraged when I see young people trying to fight for their political spaces. You're most welcome, sir.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Gerard. And on the show, we have Mafari Edison. And Mafari Edison is a politician vying for the National Publicity Secretary in the National Resistance Movement. It's a pleasure having you on the dialogue. Speak to our viewers.
Thank you, Prince Apollo. Good morning to all our viewers. I wish to thank you for inviting me once again. I am Edison Mafari Ruyembogwenjura. I'm the PLU Youth Representative for Greater Bushenyi, but I'm also vying for National Publicity Secretary in the NRM Youth League.
Wow. How is it going?
The race so far so good, except some challenges. But we are doing the best within our means, and we believe we are in the lead.
Sure. That's it. Mafari Edison. My name is Prince Apollo. Now we kick off the big show. We'll be joined by Honorable Patrick Oshabe Samba, Member of Parliament for Kathsanda North, to, of course, dissect some of these issues. But speaking about the politics and the rush for presidential nominations, we are mourning the loss as a country after, following the passing of Honorable Mary Kaloro Krutu, an educator. She was a woman member of parliament representing Bushenyi district in parliament. And of course, she's an author, and she's one of those Ugandans whose legacy leaves an indelible ink in the political arena. Kalolo passed on earlier this week in Nairobi, and today, Saturday, she will be buried. Her body will be laid to rest at Bwatogo Seru, Bushenyi Shaka municipality, and it has been resolved that the Bushenyi main stadium be renamed Kalolo Okurutu Stadium in memory of the former cabinet minister's service and legacy. Just one word from you, Dr. Gerard Wansala. I think now it is the third week in a row. When we come here, we first pay tribute. The country is losing. Of course, it is natural, but whenever we come, we have to condole with the family of following the passing of an influential and prominent leader. I don't know if you can just in one sentence make or pay a tribute.
Yeah, condolences, especially to the Okurut family. I know she was married to a former minister called Okurut, and that's how she got the name. Of course, I say condolences to her husband inside, and of course the people of Bushenyi and Makerere, where she was before, and the entire country. I first learned about her when she was a lecturer, but a writer, either in the Daily Monitor or New Vision. At that time, when we were in secondary school, she used to write poetic kind of articles, and I think that is the visibility that later propelled her into the vice president's office and later in the president's office, before she later made it to cabinet. And I also remember, I think she replaced an MP who died. I think she was Bernadette Vigirwa from that area there. So from then, she was around for some time, including in cabinet. I saw her as a very zealous supporter of the NRM, which is good when you love something. I think that conviction is good until she lost the seat. When she lost the seat, she went calm. For a long time, I did not see her jostling a lot for the way these days we have a culture. You find an 80-year-old who has been a technocrat, has been a politician at the highest level, maybe speakers level, and when they retire, instead of becoming an example to us, Uganda has been so generous to them. Free education, free jobs, up to that level, but they don't go home. They still want to come around and find their way on the payroll. But
She retired.
she was quiet somewhere. Probably even as, I don't know whether she was a presidential advisor like most of them, but I think she was kind of contented. Well, about the deaths, if people are older, like
She was
in 90s, I think 70 is young. If some of us lived in China and the average at that time was almost 90, the life expectancy. So she would be very young in such a context. So I believe partly I heard she died in Nairobi, which again raises issues of our medical care. Of course, something is being done. I saw that the Cancer Institute, for instance, is trying to set up regional centers of excellence to do diagnosis quickly so that people are treated in time.
Even the specialized hospital at Loa is coming up.
How that one has been a bottomless pit of taxpayers' money. Unless
when you go there today, you see something. I think they've reached the 5th story. They are moving.
Yeah, but we have not had any hospital here, including renovation of the entire Mulago at that value. So if we are already spending close to $1 trillion, it should be worth it. If it doesn't give us the results we want, then I think it will be one of the biggest scandals in this country, because that's a huge amount of money.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you, Doctor. And Edison, few statements in tribute to Honorable Mary Kalulu Krutu?
I knew Honorable Karoro at a personal level, being the woman MP of my district where I come from. And she was also one of the people who contacted me when Genom was appointed me youth representative for Greater Ushenyi. She was one of the first people that contacted me to congratulate me, but also she was a supporter of PLU.
Okay.
I have seen some clips of one of your presenters here, one of your media people who interviewed her about PLU, and she was positive about it, and she's someone that we really believed she supported us as the next generation. So it is a great loss to us as PLU as well, and as NRM, and as entire Uganda, because she's someone who was very cultural and poetic. Actually, she started something called Ntambiko.
Yeah.
The last time we interacted,
More of a craft center.
it is a craft center called Ntambiko as you go towards Bushenyi district. So it is a good site for tourism and cultural studies, and people go there and they are equipped with the with knowledge, they are equipped with skills to live life. So as my colleague was saying here, she's someone who did not just retire, but she started at least something and tried to equip her community. So it is a great loss to the nation. I wish to convey my condolences to the party chairman, the president, and also the people of Uganda and the other side where she was married.
Are you also concerned about prominent Ugandans? Dying in foreign countries in search for treatment?
I would not be serious to say that I'm not concerned, because now if those prominent people, the so-called prominent people as you're putting it, for them, if they can afford to go out, my concern is on us, some of us who cannot afford that. So it's really a big concern for us as a country to make sure that at least let the facilities be there to cater for the people who cannot afford. But also it is not a good gesture to find that the people who have been in government have to be rushed out of the country. I mean, what have they been doing? Because if they had done better preparation, it should be a lesson to all the people in government. Try to make sure that at least you put up the structures, you put up the equipment that is necessary, because you never know. Life is so uncertain. You find that a situation arises and you are not in a position. Right now you may be affording, but you never know at that time when it befalls you. You may not be in place to afford going outside. So it is a big concern to the nation, and it is a big concern to us as the community.
It may be indeed a concern, but we condole with the family and the country at large upon the passing of Honorable Mary Kalulu Krutu. May her soul rest in peace. And now we switch gears to our main topic for discussion this morning: the rush for presidential nominations, and a record of more than 160 individuals had picked nomination papers by yesterday evening from the National Electoral Commission. And these include, all age groups, including 20-year-olds who also think they can occupy the topmost office in this country. They state their reasons, yes, different reasons, but it's within their rights, yes. But the question remains, why this rush? What is the motivation? What does it tell as we head into the 2026 general elections? Through the national vice chairman of the NRM and the Secretary General of the NRM, His Excellency the President, Yoweri Timuhaburwa Ssemalungu Museveni, also picked the nominations to extend his 40-year rule, the 7th term in office. But he will this time face off possibly with more than 100 other individuals. We still wait to see what the ballot paper will look like. But of course, for the benefit of our viewers, the law requires a candidate to be a citizen aged above 18 years with a minimum academic qualification is equivalent to A levels. An aspiring candidate must be supported countrywide, and they should have. We have 146 districts and cities, and a minimum of 100 signatures from registered voters are required from at least 98 districts, 100 from at least from 98 districts across the country. And this means that in total, an aspiring candidate will submit at least 9,800 signatures to the Electoral Commission. And the candidate is also required to pay shillings 20 million nomination fees. And these are submitted together with signed forms at least 2 weeks before official nomination exercises. That is a list of requirements. And now we wait to see if these 160-something people will be able to meet these requirements. Let me start with you, Dr. Jared Wanzala.
Yeah.
This is unprecedented, having a long list of individuals vying for this presidency. What does that speak to?
Thank you very much, Apple. One, you have correctly put the conditions for you to contest for president of Uganda. And those conditions were put there for a reason, such that you must prove something before you come back and qualify for nomination. But let me start with a large number of people who have picked forms. Now, one, we must know that the law has changed. At first,
that is Kalembe, the one who also contested last time. Go ahead.
yes.
Go ahead.
At first, we copied when we were making the constitution of Uganda. We thought that for you to be a president, at least must have reached the age of 35. You have probably been mentored, joined through some ranks, and then you made it to with experience for you to be able to understand the country, understand the politics, understand even the U.S. Constitution. I think that's where we borrowed it from, because when the U.S. Constitution also puts it at 35.
Initially, it was at 35.
Yes. So we try to adopt that. But you know that in 2017, when we removed the age limit, the upper age limit, we also removed the lower age limit, the lower limit, because people are saying that if we have removed the age limit, because scientifically, when you reach above 75, you also begin declining mentally, physically, and so people are saying that if someone is declining from the upper side, why should we block the younger ones who may also have some deficiencies? This is how the field was opened. And I think it was a good rallying point for the NRM to justify removing the age limit at the top. So today, when I see every comedian, a student, anybody picking the forms, I'm not surprised. Because I think we are comedizing politics at almost every level. You see, society gets the leaders they deserve.
Yeah, sure.
So if you see the kind of population we have left at the crossroads, no civic education, harmonized, because the law says that you have harmonized, comprehensive civic education and a curriculum and a policy. These are absent. What we have is these talk shows we have to help educate people, but they are not sufficient because as we are speaking on salt now, there are people who are in their gardens. So there must be a strategic program focusing on them for them to know why are they voting. If they are voting, what's their role as citizens? If they are citizens, what are their duties, including the duty to hold the government and leaders accountable, such that leaders don't procure them the way they are procuring them like a marketplace. I saw a minister who was giving 2,000 in a line in the NRM primaries. You know, if someone has civic competence, probably may take the 2,000, but will not influence how they are voting. So I think partly.
What is the motivation, in your opinion, behind this rush?
Behind this rush, one, there are people, a few, who seriously want to try their luck at the presidency. There are some who are being futuristic, that probably let me put myself on the radar. In case I contest, I get 40,000 or 50,000 votes, and there is a conversation as President Museveni's regime comes to the evening, probably I can be part of the conversations and find where to sit. There are those. Then we have those who are want to use the presidency as a lobby platform. I saw a group escorting someone from the Luwero, Greater Luwero area. And when they were picking forms, they were saying that they were lied upon. In 1986, they lost their relatives. They have not had compensation. So those ones want to be seen that if you don't do something, in this case, something that Ugandans have been accustomed to under this regime, the president announcing billions at rallies. I saw fishermen the other day said, this side of Lake Choga, I'll give you $1 billion. Even you this side of Lake Choga, $1 billion. So throwing around money. There are those who think they will benefit
from the
the Baganda call it okwemulisa. Nangere kabandabe, then babeo chebakola. So we have those. Then we have the political parties that have consistently been presenting candidates. The Forum for Democratic Change, for instance, they have their systems and they are presenting. Now others like UPC, Jim Akena is speaking, Joseph Ocheno is speaking from the same party. So some are trying to use them to sort out their local fights in political parties. So I think these are some of the motivations, but also you must know that if you have a president who has been there for a long time, all these years, and then you find so many unserious people coming, there is a likelihood that some can be injected with some resources to confuse the electorate.
Sure.
Yes, it happens. I always see in Kenya, you find the Raila Odinga contesting, then also funding Wajakoya to come with a funny program, and then it takes. But when the event comes that a leader cannot receive 50% to form to get an outright win, and there is a rerun, you may find all these characters now gathering around the person who sponsored them. So it is possible that it is also happening.
It's a duplicity of factors that motivate this rush.
Absolutely.
For presidency.
There are so many factors.
But what does it now mean to the office of the president now? Isn't it being vulgarized or watered down? I don't know.
Yeah, it waters down the office of the president because if 1996 you had Paul Kawanga Semogerere, a man of integrity, tested politician, lawyer, then you had Chibirige Mayanja, who was equally a technocrat at Makerere University, those three. And then you come 2001, you saw the quality. You had Francis Wenje, who was an established politician from the 80s. You had the Chiza Besigye, who had been NPC, Minister Director Logistics and Engineering, and you do see experience. You do see Mr. Museveni himself and and the others. Later you see the savannas and
But that is the time when we again, I think 2011, we saw the Mabirizi, Mukaku, and others.
Don't you see that from then coming to now, we are seeing anybody. I saw someone the other day who said, oh, he received a vision. He cannot even articulate himself in the official language, saying he received a vision that God has sent him to be president, and that he ordered him to marry 4 women from every region of Uganda to unite. I mean, that level of comedy in our politics vulgarizes the politics of Uganda. And at the end, some voters say, we rather remain with who? With President Museveni. Others will say, but
So whereas it vulgarizes the office, you think it benefits the incumbent?
Yeah, it does.
In one way.
It does, because now if you have President Museveni, who has positioned himself as a leader of regional integration, of Pan-Africanism, first of all, he's also has some resources to move around, be more. Then now you're having the other who turned up with the gumboots and a short and because doing comedy. So
Very,
someone
very
would be convinced to say, let me stick with President Museveni.
Thank you, Dr. Gerard Wede Wansara. And viewers, you should be part of this conversation. Send in your comments and observations. Use our WhatsApp line, use our SMS line, 0701609906. Let's know what you think about this rush for presidency and what it means to the topmost office in the country, having now more than 160 individuals, and even the period is still open. This number may again continue to soar. Let me have your opinion, Edison. What do you think is motivating these individuals, including 20-year-old students?
First of all, let me first respond to my colleague who says some of the people coming up may be actually being planted
by the
incumbent. But you see, now when the intellectuals leave the space empty, because I've heard him, he has very good ideas, he's experienced, he has the knowledge, but he did not come up. So who else did you want to show interest? Because they are genuine people who are coming up.
Yeah.
They are comedians. I want us to divide those two groups into two categories. There are some who are genuine, who are coming up. I'll give the reasons. But there are others who are just in for comedy.
Sure.
And I want to blame you, the media, for giving them platform. Because really that shouldn't be the picture that should be seen as our nation. Someone putting on gumboots with each commando in the pocket, coming to
you blame us for nothing. For us, we report.
No, because I'm sure there are people who came on the second day after watching the news of the first day. Because they took the advantage of less restrictions, which also needs to make a review in the law. Because really you cannot allow that. But again, when you don't allow, these ones will now say that President Museveni is limiting them. So you'd rather make it open, people come, pick nominations, because it is a wide entry, but I'm sure the exit is very narrow. Because we can have this conversation again after the people who have qualified. Because I'm sure most of them, at least 90%, may not come back. Because the requirements, getting 100 signatures for every district is also not easy. And the fee that is supposed to be paid. But putting that aside, I believe I want to go on the side of the genuine people that are coming up to show interest. And most especially, I want to focus on the youth, where the bracket where I fall. Now, these youth are coming up, in my view, for two reasons. One, they see there is that need for change.
Sure.
It is growing.
Do you identify serious youth in this, I mean, who have shown interest in the
They are
office
there.
of the president?
They are there. They are very serious. I even saw some youth who came up to pick party nominations, party forms for NRM, and for them they are actually paying before coming for the nomination forms. They were paying 20 million. That is a serious person. Now there is that need. There is that urge that is increasing. People are somehow needing some change. But then again, they are not trusting the people who have been on stage trying to push for change. Because they are turning it into a game. They are turning it into a source of income. So sometimes some of these youth are saying, yes, we sent you there, we have relied on you for so long, and you're not giving results. So it is like a way of saying, Kane tukire. Let me also reach by myself. But then again, I think President Museveni has somehow made running this country look so simple.
Really?
Yes, to find that everyone thinks they can come up and be president. Because we have a unique history where some people were heads of this state for days. I'm sure those people, if they now hear that someone has ruled Uganda for 40 years, they would think he's a magician. So there is a way he has made it look so simple that even everyone who thinks they can come up and pick forms, that they think they can be president, they think it is simple. And that is why some of us are really trying to assert and show that there is need for preparation for a peaceful and orderly transition by putting in place, removing that anxiety, and we are saying after President Museveni, we have a substitute on standby. So as you know, we can easily lose this. We can, because if everyone can come up, I'm sure even some of the people in NUP, some of those bodyguards, Bobi Wine was not a dictator. Some of them, if arouse them, they want to be president. Everyone, it is total chaos. Everyone wants to be president. So I really want to emphasize.
Let's interrogate why, like you said, in your own words, why everyone wants to be president. Why do you think?
I've given you the reasons.
Everyone.
There are two. One, the president has made it look so simple.
The office has been demystified.
Not that, but there is a way he handles things, and you think everyone can manage. Because I'm telling you, this is 40 years, but we have a history where we have had presidents who have been head of state for some days. But for him, here he comes. He has been around for 40 years, and people are beginning to forget our history. Because of his expertise and his unique way of handling things, everyone thinks they can manage. But it is not that simple.
As your chairman, as your party chairman, after 40 years, and looking back, you are now, picking nomination forms alongside a student of 20 years. How does that feel, in your opinion?
Well, it's democracy.
Sure.
You put democratic ways of choosing a candidate, everyone will want space. As long as we are going to have an election, and as long as these people are going to go through a put-in-place process, it is democracy.
Isn't that a huge vote of no confidence in
I really
the leadership of President Museveni?
If these people go through and they are voted, you would say it is a vote of no confidence. But I'm sure some of them will not even get the people to endorse them. They will not get the signatures. So really, it is. I think the law should be reviewed in the first place to make sure that at least some of these restrictions are put at the beginning. For example, in our party, when we were picking nominations, at least you'd first show commitment. Because some of these people are just coming in for comedy to be
commitment
seen.
Like in which way?
Like at least be vetted. Because if you can...
Vetted by who?
Vetted by our internal structures. By our internal structures. I'll give you an example. Recently they are recruiting into UPDF. Now, to have someone who is competent and with integrity, you first send them to be vetted. First by the LOC1 chairman, they go through ISO, they go to the district up to the RDC. Now, if you can do that for just a mere UPDF officer, why should you leave it open for someone who's going to occupy the highest office? And that is the president. So at least let the law be amended so that at least some of the restrictions are put at the beginning so as to erase this comedy. Because I can assure you, some of the people just come to be seen on the news. And I'm sure after in the evening, they sit somewhere in their group and they start laughing about it. Because really, but you see someone coming, they don't even have the documents, they have nothing, they just come and show up just to be seen. And why I'm blaming you people, the media, is giving such people a platform to be seen on news. Really, it is embarrassing.
I think, Edison, you and me should continue to interrogate why people are playing comedy in an issue that is as important as presidency.
They are taking advantage of the situation. Because if
what do they gain from comedy? I mean, what is the end benefit?
Really, you also ask that because people just even go on TikTok and try to make a funny video without any intention. So really, it's just about someone making news or someone trending. These days they call it trending. I've seen even people that I wouldn't imagine to be doing such things. You find them on TikTok dancing. Recently, I saw one of the retired generals is now a TikToker. So really, you'd say in such a community, someone doesn't come.
What does that now speak to the future politics of this country? If
we need to get
not respect,
we need to get a little serious, and that is where we as I still talk about PLU. That is where we come in. That is why we are there to make sure that some of these things are aligned. Because really, if you see ahead, it's really going to be messy. Unless someone comes up and tries to put things in line.
It's going to be messy. That's it from that's a word from Edison Mafali. And Edison Mafali is PLU NRM supporter and leader, but he's aspiring to be the national secretary, publicity secretary in the NRM ranks. And we continue to interrogate the events as they unfold, especially looking at the rush for presidency. I can see my other guest has arrived. I will need him on the set to continue. And of course, we have Dr. Gerard Wanzara here. We have an issue before us that is so pertinent. The presidency must be an office of repute, and everyone vying for presidency should be equally a person of repute. But looking at 20-year-olds who have just completed senior 6 wanting to vie for presidency, looking at comedians, the comedy, the way they present themselves, then you think there is a problem in this country. Dr. Gerard, talking about the comedy, people wanting to play comedy in an issue as important as presidency.
Yeah, because look, you see the roles of a president, okay? Welfare of the citizens, economic policy.
Yeah.
You as a president, you're going to be the chief diplomat. The role you offer of being in charge of the security of the people and their property. And then people turn the office into an office of comedy where anybody is. But it is not only happening at the presidency, by the way. There is a way we have diluted the political offices, right from the presidents to the member of parliament, to the today, like I told you, because of lack of civic education, there are people who vote a member of parliament who cannot even express himself or herself in one sentence in English, but maybe he danced well or he cooks pilau for them at in their area, so they will end up supporting that kind of person. When I was still working with the Africa Leadership Institute, we sent researchers to find out why some MPs keep returning to parliament even when they are not visible anywhere at the national level where they were sent. And we sent someone in southwestern Uganda. There was an MP who spent almost the whole month drinking waragi with the voters, and this MP would count the seats, because if you miss consecutively, I think 15 years, then you lose your seat. So you would count and only appear, say that he doesn't reach the 15th one, then he goes back. So that is how we have diluted the offices. Then we have turned voters into objects for procurement because of abject poverty and so on. So people have some property, sell their things to come and be leaders. So when they become leaders, they don't demonstrate integrity. They don't offer the leadership that people are expecting. So at the end of the day, it's all diluted. That's why you are seeing all these comedians speaking presidential nomination forms.
All right, we continue to interrogate the circumstances, but I've been joined by Honorable Patrick Oshaben Samba, and Member of Parliament for Kassanda North. Always privileged to have you on the show.
Thank
member
you.
of the National Unity Platform. Speak to our viewers.
Thank you very much. I want to say sorry to the viewers for having arrived here quite late. The road you told me about, I found it blocked, went to another one blocked. Had to go and make rounds to reach here.
Sure.
But I thank God I'm here.
You're here.
Thank you for the show. And I want to greet Ugandans, whoever is watching this, and those of Kassanda North. Tell your viewers, your friends, to switch to Salt TV this morning, so that we can move together. Yes.
Already we are in the middle of a discussion. Submissions have been made, but we have 5 minutes to the break. I want you to utilize those 5 minutes.
Thank you very much.
And tell us what you think is motivating almost everyone to think that they can be president of this country.
Yeah, in politics, when people think that they can do better in your position, they will always come up, everyone in their own perspective. But one time we were here on a discussion, and I told you that as a country, we lack a value system. We do not have a value system that follows our leadership. To say that a member of parliament should be a person of this stature, a president should be a person of this stature.
At least we do. In the Parliamentary Elections Act, and even the Constitution, should be of sound mind. I think that word is there. He should not have a criminal record. I think we have those. Okay, you know very well. You can start from there.
Those are statements that were written. Values are kept by people, not by reading, but by living. The leadership, current leadership, has built nothing in terms of, a value system is kind of, values are built in the people, and they live with them. And they don't need somebody to remind no one that this is how we live. And countries have built that to know, and everyone gauges themselves to know that as I have grown up, I've learned that leaders behave in this manner. Unfortunately, in this our country, there is nothing exceptional about leaders.
Sure.
Nothing.
Has it been there, or was it
Nothing
there
has been
initially?
built. When you talk about qualifications, for example, you have professors in parliament that have been reduced to senior 6. If a professor is convinced by money to take a decision, that one has already been reduced to nothing. If reasons no longer convince the educated, and what convinces them is how much they have refused. Now, probably that is not a proper culture or proper value system that we can be proud about as a country. So, whenever these people, the way they interpret these things, they say all these guys are useless. That's how the people interpret it. Despite the fact that there are some few leaders who try their best to live by standards, by the code you're talking about, people interpret the rest of us to say, those ones are comedians. Even the president comes up once in a while to say, those ones are clones. Just for example, he has often said so when he talks about members of parliament. That implies the way he views the members of parliament, okay? He is the same way the public views us. Now the question is, when you call your members of parliament clones, what happens to you, their leader? You might be the chief.
I don't remember him.
You might be the chief clone.
I don't remember him calling you clowns.
He calls us crowns, like clowns or something.
Okay.
There is a statement he calls us crowns or something. And let me tell you, that is the proper definition the public has about us. To the extent that if I'm a coffee farmer, something that required simple reasoning, a law that required simple reasoning, members of parliament ended up doing as they wished. A matter on arresting and abducting Ugandans and throw them in a military court, a civilian, it needed simple reasoning for leaders to say no. But because of the kind of leadership that we have, everybody says yes, when even the least person on the ground would have said no.
So you put it on the leadership.
Exactly.
Including
there has been no values. Yes. There has been no values built about leadership.
Allow me, we go for a
People
break.
have been told that once you can govern a gun, the rest is nothing.
Allow us to go for a short break. Viewers, after this short break, we continue to interrogate the circumstances leading to a situation, one, where we have more than 160 individuals expressing interest in the topmost office in the country. Number two, even Gen Zs and comedians now feeling they also have the capacity and the knowledge and the qualities to be president of Uganda. Let's go for a break. When we return, the dialogue will continue. Don't go away.